Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Boxiest, and today we are going to continue the What If series. What if events had gone differently? And in this What If, we're going to change the history of Cobra Kai. What if Sato was in Karate Kid 3? So in this timeline, the events of the Karate Kid 2 would still happen, Sato and Mr. Miyagi would still become friends again, and Chozen and Daniel would still fight, but much like in the original timeline, Daniel would still defeat Chozen, and Chozen would still run away, and the events of the Karate Kid 3 would carry on. And in this timeline, Sato would go to the US with Mr. Miyagi and Daniel. He would want to go there on vacation. Daniel would tell Sato about Mr. Miyagi's dream of opening up his own bonsai store, so Sato and Daniel would open up Mr. Miyagi's little trees, and with Sato's funding, it would be in a different area. So in this timeline, Daniel wouldn't meet Jessica, and the events of the Karate Kid 3 would carry on. Carice would still go to Terry Silver in this timeline, and Terry Silver would still want to get revenge on Mr. Miyagi and Daniel, so Terry Silver would still hire Mike Barnes, and Mike Barnes would still try to intimidate Daniel. Terry Silver would still introduce himself to Mr. Miyagi, Daniel, and Sato. He would still try to trick them, but Terry Silver would still mention that he was a student of Master Kim Sang-young. Sato would hear this, and he would immediately not trust Terry Silver. And once Terry Silver left, Sato would tell Mr. Miyagi and Daniel all about Kim Sang-young, and how his style of karate was based on Tang Soo Do and deception. He would say that Terry Silver was dangerous and not to be trusted. So in this timeline, Daniel would never go to Terry Silver. Mike Barnes would still find a way to force Daniel to sign up for the All Valley. Daniel would go to Mr. Miyagi, and he would ask him if he could train him, but Mr. Miyagi would refuse. Sato would overhear this, and he would offer to train Daniel. So Sato would start training Daniel in the aggressive form of Miyagi-Do, much like he trained Chozen, and Sato would even teach Daniel a little bit of Tang Soo Do, and he would even teach Daniel how to fight with weapons. Mike would continue to try to intimidate Daniel, but with Sato's training, Daniel would stand a better chance. Eventually, Sato would expose Terry Silver as being the CEO of Dynatox, and how it was his plan to get Daniel to fight Mike Barnes at the All Valley. So Sato would want to convince Mr. Miyagi to help him train Daniel, and once Mr. Miyagi learned the truth, he would agree to train Daniel. So Daniel would get training from Mr. Miyagi and Sato. In the night of the All Valley, Daniel would compete, but in this timeline, Daniel would be fighting more aggressive, but he would still be fighting defensively. Mike Barnes would still be gaining a point and losing a point against Daniel, but he would have a harder time. But in this timeline, Daniel wouldn't be afraid of Mike Barnes. They would still go into sudden death, and Daniel would manage to get the last point on Mike Barnes, so Daniel would still be the two-time All Valley champion. Cobra Kai would shut down. Daniel would thank Mr. Miyagi and Sato for everything, and Sato would go back to Okinawa, and Daniel and Mr. Miyagi would continue running Mr. Miyagi's little trees, and in this timeline, it would be successful. Mr. Miyagi and Daniel would continue training over the years, and that is where I'm going to end this What If. Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think would have happened if Sato was in the Karate Kid 3? Let me know in the comments below. YouTube lets me know that the majority of you are not subscribed, so if you guys could subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And I'll see you guys next time.